Hello, this is Jay Mitchell, and we are back with another episode of the Libertarian Uncensored podcast, going over all the posts on the Libertarian Uncensored subreddit. First, we have Capitalism and Loneliness. Johan Norberg exposes what the media gets wrong from John Stossel on YouTube, and I posted that, and I said, to be fair, the media pretty much blames every issue on capitalism, not just loneliness. Then we have voting for people who put me and my entire family in a camp because we're Asian is for the greater good from Spike Cohen on Twitter, and that was his reply to George Takei. He quote tweeted George Takei, who tweeted, "A Democrat was in the White House when my family was sent to the internment camps in 1941. It was an egregious violation of our human and civil rights." And then he says, but I still support the Democrats today, pretty much in the rest of his tweet. And I said, George Takei is proof that you can screw over someone as much as possible, but they will still support and vote for you because the narrative says to. And, I agree that the sins of the father are the sins of the son, but, it's still important to be accountable for your past, especially since considering that FDR is still popular among most Democrats. Then we have Donald Trump says he never swore oath to support the Constitution from Newsweek.com by Whittling Dan. And I said, an elected official doesn't give a shit about the Constitution. How scandalous. No, wait, that's most of them. Trump might say it out loud, but none of the recent presidents have given a shit about the Constitution. Most elected representatives don't either, I would say. Not everyone can be like a Justin Amash or Thomas Massie when it comes to caring about the Constitution. Then we have something Schadenfruit something from FlimsyOut5563, and that's a post of a tweet from Call to Activism. The Bible has been removed from all elementary middle school libraries throughout the Davis School District in Utah after a parent utilized a new law that permits the removal of pornographic books from school libraries. The removal of the Bible is requested due to being one of the most sex-ridden books around. And I said, a lot of really hard stuff in the Bible. I think the parent should have every right to complain about it and have it removed from schools if they want to. I believe parents should have as much say of a role as they want to in their child's education. Then we have No Fault Divorce and Freedom of Association from CNN.com by Structure 5 City. And they said, apparently some conservative Republicans are advocating for the end of no fault divorce. It seems that are not allowing couples to split without proving fault for something like abuse or infidelity if it violates the individuals of their relationships, the right to free association. Thoughts? And I guess I would agree with that. I think the marriage is something that's inherently collective, and I think if you want to marry anything, I think you should be able to. If you want to divorce anything, I think you should be able to, as long as it's all consensual, I would say. So that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Agreed, Hitler, Stalin, and Mao probably thought they had good intentions as well, from Sal the Agorist on Twitter, and that was his doing a meme of the Irish Green Party senators like, we were restricting freedom, but we were doing it for the common good, and under her is Hitler, saying, oh, that's exactly what I said. And I said, yeah, that's what I said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and sadly, a lot of people don't realize that. Especially, it seems like a lot of people on the left these days, a lot of people on the right as well, but a lot of people on the left these days, especially in Europe, when it comes to restricting the freedom of speech, and that's something that I really don't care for. Then we have writing a hit piece about a child is extremely weird behavior from Sydney Watson on Twitter, and I posted that, and that was her reply to the story from Deadspin about the guy, the 5-year-old Chiefs fan who was wearing the journalist Karen Phillips said, oh, he's wearing blackface, but the other side of his face was red. So, that just goes to show, why no one trusts the media anymore. And I said, and people wonder why no one respects the so-called quote-unquote journalists anymore. Then we have, in 1996, Georgiana Dorschuk ran for president with a campaign promise of banning all computers if she got elected for Mr. Beat on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, sounds like a lot of modern politicians who want to restrict the free and open internet as much as possible. Then we have Teachers Union head mystified by increasing homeschooling from Reason.com by 2000's Time of Charm, and I said, people like Weingarten, who are in positions of authority, feel entitled to a lot of things. That's the big problem here. She feels entitled to all the children's education, even if they or their parents think otherwise. Then we have aquifer depletion to feed alfalfa farms in the desert for overseas customers from MSN.com by Clorox, and that's a crossword from the Leopards Ate My Face subreddit. And yeah, I definitely don't think that is good, but in the end, it depends on who wants to justify using their resources on what. And sadly, sometimes there might not be resources for other people, and that's not good. I don't think so. I personally think that the people we should use the water as each person wants to. But sadly, the thing is that sometimes someone might misuse the resources. But sadly that's just life. Sometimes it can be unfair like that. It's not an excuse for a centralized state authority to determine what is and what isn't good. Then we have the Seidel Files, number 1. Many people insist that governments aren't involved in censorship, but they are. And now a whistleblower has come forward with an explosive new trove of documents rivaling or exceeding the Twitter files and Facebook files in scale and importance. And that's from Michael Schellenberger on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, I don't know if I said anything here. I don't think I did, but the thing is, the thing here is that it just goes to show that that the government is definitely deeply involved in the censorship industrial complex, and that's not something that is good, I would say. We need to allow for a free and open internet as much as possible, and the government seems to increasingly be against that idea. Then we have No Woman is an Island from Conrad Prodhone, and they said, too many right libertarians have a fuck you got mine attitude. They don't care about those of us who don't get our basic needs met. They just want the government to not inconvenience them and couldn't give a fuck if that government intervention had helped those in need. They forgot that we live in a society, and they rely on our public infrastructure and defense to enjoy bodily autonomy. It is a sign of a fat society when there are rich pricks who have inherited their wealth that have sex every day, while working class men like me work all day in and day out to attract females from success. Women who greatly benefit from society should contribute their fair share by providing some action to unfortunate souls like mine. As libertarian socialists, I think there is room for a small government that takes care of things like Social Security, Medicare, and restoration of wealth and sex, and such a system will provide more freedom to the ordinary people compared to the hyper-capitalist right libertarian vision, which only serves those who have a lot of money and sex. And I personally would disagree with that. I think if people want to, pull their resources for sex, I think they should be able to, but I don't think they should be forced to do so. So that's my thoughts there. Then we have, for years, Netanyahu propped up Hamas. Now it's blown up in our faces from timesofisrael.com by International Silver One. And yeah, I definitely think that's not good. It just goes to show you that you shouldn't be propping up groups like the U.S. did the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, and look where that got him. Osama bin Laden later did 9/11, and so that just goes to show you, you just can't be funding all these bad groups, but people will justify what they justify, sadly, and that's the government for you. They'll justify funding the worst people imaginable if it can help them control the narrative. Then we have the DOJ collected data on every person who liked / retweeted at Real Donald Trump. The war on terror now means you, from End Wokeness on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, scary but not surprising, sadly. The war on terror was always directed at the average U.S. citizen first and foremost. Then we have Arizona officials charged with conspiring to delay midterm election outcome from WashingtonPost.com. And that was from Kage blah blah blah. And yeah, I definitely don't think that is good, but it's just kind of, I personally think it's just another thing we need open ballot for, but, because, we're always going to have all these frauds, people yelling fraud, 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 as long as we have secret ballot, but I personally won't care for democracy regardless of the system used. Then we have spyware being used by 13 federal districts, documents show from Canada, and that's from CBC, but from Clorox, and they said this is what actual evidence looks like for those who can't help post and woken screenshots from Twitter instead of anything with credence. And if they want to think that's evidence, I think that's fine, but I think evidence is ultimately kind of subjective these days, especially with how politicized everything is, I would say. Then we have former Green Beret Evan Hafer on freedom of speech and the consequences of occupational wars from Powerful Jerry on YouTube, and I posted that and I said, I like the point that Hafer makes just before the 6-minute mark that goes on until about the end of the video. The only definite rules of life are those of physics. Everything else is just social engineering. People say, the thing is that humans can be, especially if you go into countries that don't have a good political or economic situation, humans can be very scary and are inherently bound by the laws of nature, even if they think they aren't. And that's something that's important to remember. Ultimately, all things are the laws of physics. The laws of force, and that's important to remember that all power ultimately does come from force, and that's why it's very important that the state has a monopoly on it, at least according to a lot of people, even though I think that's inherently tyranny, I would say. Then we have, how can we prevent the fascists from eliminating the federal government, from Conrad Proudhon, and they said, in light of the ongoing fascist attempt to kneecap the federal executive, we must create a plan to protect executive authority. We can't trust the Supreme Court anymore, as it's been packed with fascists who don't acknowledge the rights of the federal government to do whatever it wants to needs to protect us. Several suggestions have been made, such as dissolving the Supreme Court and installing a new court of loyal pro-worker judges. Another suggestion is to simply expand the current court to water down the voting power of the current fascists in the Supreme Court. Another alternative is to simply impeach all the sitting fascists and replace them with loyal pro-worker judges. The future of democracy relies on us being able to stop these fascists from eliminating the federal government at all costs. And they did a poll. Let's see the poll. The options were 1, dissolve the current court and install a new one. 1 vote for dissolve the current court and install a new one. 1 vote for expand the current court. 1 vote for impeach and replace sitting fascists. And 5 votes for other. And I said, voted other. My thing will be to dissolve all forced collectivism and just let everyone have their own government. And if they want to form voluntary collectives, they can do so. Then we have probably one of the most libertarian moments in a children's cartoon I've ever seen, from Chase Hookil on YouTube, and that's a clip from Dan VS about from the cartoon Dan Versus, and a supermarket comes to his door and he says, "I don't care who the IRS sends, I'm not paying taxes." And I definitely think that's a very libertarian ethos. I don't think we should be having the IRS be dictating, letting the IRS forcing us to pay taxes if we don't want to. Same for all the other alphabet agencies and all this other shit they force us to do. Then we have, I agree with the title, reaffirming the state of Israel's right to exist, and much of the language, but I'm voting no on the resolution because it equates anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is deplorable, but expanding it to include criticism of Israel is not helpful, from Thomas Massey on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, I heard it was just Massi and Tlaib who voted no. I'm glad at least someone has the balls to stand up to the Israel lobby. Also, I would argue that no one has the right to exist. If that were true, then anyone who wanted to could be immortal if they felt like it. So, because, I think, you could have a heart attack at any second. I think you have a right to not be harmed by others, but I think you could have a heart attack at any second, and there might be nothing you can do about it. So that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have anti-immigration signage in West Belfast is being treated as a hate incident, police say, from BBC News and I on Twitter, and I posted that and I said, just goes to show that the state can label whatever it wants to as a hate crime. And then I linked to a tweet that said, really makes you think of our tweet from Rita, but not only tweeted, meanwhile, Irish Lives Matter equals hate crime. I'd like to see them shot in the head equals hard line. So, I personally think, my thing would be, I think a vandalism charge for greedy I can see, but I don't want people's faults and motivations to be criminalized. I would like, all people can be discriminated against. That's not just why you can force the state against people. I would want the same punishment, regardless of what was written, whether it would be a swastika or Black Lives Matter. We shouldn't be, we shouldn't be having the government right the wrongs if it's authoritarian pastor from an authoritarian president. Two wrongs don't make a right. Forcing total equality is only going to hurt everyone involved. Then we have Ohio attorney suspended over pooping in a Pringles can, living in a parking lot. I'm sorry, I thought this was America, from Cincinnati.com by Clorox, and that's crosswords from the Wall subreddit. And I personally think I don't know if I think as long as they kept to themselves and weren't hurting anyone else, I think they should be allowed to live in a parking lot and poop in a Pringles can, as long as they're not hurting anyone else. I guess you could have the property rights for the parking lot part, but I think as long as it's their Pringles can, they have every right to poop in it as if they feel like it. Then we have Henry Kissinger, American diplomat, Nobel winner, dead at 100 from Reuters, and I posted that and I said, U.S. foreign policy was already shit before he came over and is still shit long after he has left, but that definitely does not justify his action. I can only hope he will be held accountable for them in the next plane of existence. I also can't believe he somehow won a Nobel Peace Prize, just like Barack Obama. I'm sure Kissinger's friend Hillary Clinton would have won one as well if she won in 2016. And we have Henry Kissinger, war criminal beloved by America's ruling class, finally dies, and that's a post from Zatchnes. This is another post from Henry Kissinger's death. It's a Rolling Stone article about it. They blocked me, so I can't reply to this one, but I think the same stuff as I did in the last post, I would say. Then we have IPAC leaders are in direct coordination with leaders of the state of Israel, which for some reason is completely legal, from Nina Turner on Twitter, and I definitely, that's for over one, and I definitely would agree that we shouldn't be justifying having the Israeli government control the U.S. government, because we already have a lot of the deep state doing that, and a lot of other foreign actors and domestic actors doing it as well. So that's my thoughts there. Then we have Libertarian Uncensored votes 2024 Democratic Primary Party U.S. primary from November 21st, 2023 edition. And I said, according to Wikipedia, Vermin Supreme paperboy Prince have entered the race since the last poll, though Prince is under the Constitution mandated 35 and Supreme is too base to win. And I said, can't link the previous poll for this party since the all-modern removes anything far less in it, but if this was on October 29th. And I said, I'm switching my vote from Williamson to Supreme. It looks like Wikipedia removed all the non-major candidates from their page, those decided by Williamson, so shame on them, I guess. Looks like they kept them along with some other people I never heard of in the ballot access section. So I said, so it looks like it's one vote for Supreme recently, one vote for Joe Biden, one vote for Joe Exotic. No votes for D. votes for Marianne Williamson yet. Then we have the Republican Party primary, November 1st, 2023 edition. Tim Scott has exited the field since the last poll. I said sticking with Ramaswamy. So currently we have one vote for Ramaswamy and one vote for Christie. So he's still early on that. I posted this like an hour ago. Then we have 2024 Libertarian Party U.S. primary. And I posted that and I said, sticking with Termat. So currently we have no change to be like confined since the last poll. So we have one vote for Termat currently. And Rectum, Oliver, Matt, Stetson, Smith have no votes currently. So that's still early though. And I think we are, let's see if anything's new. I don't think we have anything new since then, so I think we're going to wrap it up there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.